All right, what's up, guys? CZeroMedia here. Today, I'm doing something completely different from my regular videos. It's not about cars or bikes. Today, I basically got an email from this guy, Bruce. You're in college right now, right?
Yeah,
Doing studying engineering.
yeah. Right now mechanical, and I'm thinking about switching to electrical.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. We can talk about that. But long story short, he contacted me because one of his school assignments is to interview engineer. So this is basically I'm recording this live on Skype or Google Voice, and hopefully some of the questions he's going to ask me and some of the answers I'm going to give him will benefit some of my viewers because I know a lot of my viewers and subscribers are also engineers yourself. So, if I could share my knowledge and help out some of you guys, future engineers, I thought this would be a great kind of like mentor video. So let's get right into it. You wanna talk about yourself maybe, or where are you
Yeah, sure.
anyways? What school are you at?
The University of Houston.
Okay, cool.
So I'm from Texas, but I'm wearing a sweater. I mean, 70 degrees out here.
70 degrees, that's t-shirt weather, man.
Yeah, no, we're not used to any type of cold weather.
Yeah,
Um,
I hear you.
so yeah, I have this engineering assignment, and a lot of the questions I'll just be like reading off of it, and then like obviously I have my own questions for you because I mean I get to interview CZeroMedia, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask
dude.
my own questions.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, uh, okay.
What class is
So
this
I'll
for
ask the
anyways?
first question.
What class is this for? Is this like
What?
what class is this for?
For my engineering class, you have to um, interview an engineer and basically try to figure out like what difficulties are going to come with engineering, what helps the engineer that you interview to like get through school, and then um, this will help us like know what to expect like outside of college. And yeah, basically just like trying to get info from someone who's been hands-on on like what it's really going to be like because I feel like a lot of people have high expectations and kind of just like have their own like thoughts about what engineering is going to be like, but really maybe it's not exactly how they think it's going to be.
Yeah, sure, sure. That's cool. Okay. All right. Awesome. Let's get at it. This is fun for me too.
All right, sweet. Okay, so first, what even made you choose engineering?
Oh, good question, I guess. Engineering has always been something I was interested in. I was one of those kids who is always playing around with, like, if I saw a cell phone back in the 80s, obviously there was no cell phones, but if I saw like a radio, I'm the kind of kid that wanted to know how it worked. So I would always, conveniently for me, when I went to school back in Japan growing up, I passed by a junkyard every day. So what I would do is go to a junkyard, pick up whatever junk that was there, trash, bring it home, take it apart, because I always wanted to know how it worked and how it became together to function as a device. So I was always just genuinely curious about how things work. And obviously, you know already that I love cars. Cars has always been something I always wanted to play with, something I wanted to understand, and it was just this beautiful combination of art, transportation, and mechanical device that it naturally drew me into engineering and mechanics. And I went to school for mechanical engineering, by the way. So,
Right.
just out of curiosity, I wanted to understand. I went into engineering.
So basically, like, okay, so first you started out, you were pretty into just like engineering as a whole, like just how things work and how things come together, and then like basically a car, like how you put a bunch of things together, and then somehow you can get it to go 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds or whatever. Like, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So what? So like you fell in love with cars, and that's why you chose mechanical.
That's a big part of it to me. First of all, when I went into college, obviously I like cars, but I wasn't sure exactly what kind of industry I would go into as a mechanical engineer, as opposed to like a civil engineer. If you get a civil engineering or architectural engineering degree, you're pretty much working on buildings and bridges and structural projects after graduation. But when you're a mechanical engineer, it's very broad. You can be like a nuclear power plant working on, I don't know, some kind of device. You can be, for me, I'm in the automotive industry. You can go into aerospace. You can go into like the military. So, you know, it was very broad for me. And as part of mechanical engineering, it's mechanics, right? It's about things that's in your hands and you can actually play with. To me, and I think a lot of mechanical engineers would say the same thing. Electronics was something I couldn't see, I couldn't touch, and I couldn't feel unless I shocked myself. And it just didn't make sense to me. I wanted something that I can touch and feel and actually have a connection with. And I think that's why I was mechanical engineering.
Okay, cool. So this is just a question I kind of thought of. Like, so you said whenever you were younger, you started getting interested in cars and whatever. What was your first car?
My car, oh man, my first car was a 2005 Subaru, Subaru 2.5 RS. So it's like the blow-by without the turbo. At the time, actually, I grew up loving drifting, and it's actually shocking that I don't have a drift car, an all-wheel drive car today. But like every other Japanese kid, I grew up around drifting, and I wanted to get a 240 SX. And at the time when I got my car, well, I had a car to choose from. I told my parents, like, Mom, Dad, I want a 240 SX. And this is days before drifting became big in the States, right? This was like 2008. And I'm like, I want to get this 240. And my parents are like, no, that's a drift car. Like, what? How do you know it's a drift car? Because they grew up in like the drifting culture. And my parents don't know anything about cars and they don't care about cars at all. So they wanted me to pick something safe, all-wheel drive, 4 doors. So I naturally went with a Subaru, and it wasn't boosted, but of course I modified it. But engine blew up. Now that's another story.
Okay, wait. So do you know how to drift?
I don't. I wish I did. I never got into it for some reason. I bought the Subaru, sold it in 2010, bought myself an Evo, and I had an Evo ever since. And my FD, the V8 FD, I really want to start drifting with it. So I'm eventually going to get into it. I just got into the wrong platform. I always liked Evos, but I always loved GTR, should I say. I always loved GTR Skylines. All-wheel drive just made sense to me, but I was also into drifting. So I never got to drift.
Yeah, I've always like expected you to like come out with some like drifting videos because it's like in your blood.
Yeah, I know. I get that a lot actually. I love drifting. I love watching drifting. I'm sure I'll fall in love with it.
Do you know who Adam LZ or TJ Hunt is?
Yeah, I do. I don't know them in person, but I know them. Speaking of drifting, I met like Noriello. He's over in Japan, Australian guy living in Japan. And he has like a drift Skyline, drift missile Skyline. And yeah, I met him.
He's kind of a skinny, tall dude, right?
Yeah. Australian dude.
He's been in Adam LZ's videos, I think.
Recently, yeah. As a YouTuber, here's like a lot of YouTubers or friends ask me, as a YouTuber, like, Ishin, do you watch any YouTube videos? Who's your favorite YouTube channel? And to be honest, I don't have any time to watch any YouTube videos because I'm making the videos. So I hear like these collabs and, you know, trends and events going on, like Rob Dam going to Vegas. Like I don't really watch videos, so I never knew about that. But I did hear about Adam LZ going to Japan, right, and collabing with Noriello.
Yeah, that would be something I would watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would be a good experience.
Okay, back on track with scripted question. So, whenever you were in school, what was like the most difficult part of school? Like, which classes were the hardest for you? Just like tell me about what was hard for you in college.
Yeah, so I think I went to like a boarding school in high school. My parents basically went back to Japan. I was left here with an option of going home with them to Tokyo or staying here by myself. So I decided to stay here by myself when I was 16. So I naturally went to boarding high school, which was extremely hard. So for me, first year of college was actually kind of easy. I didn't study much, but I was just kind of like scraping away with B's. And then sophomore year came, and day one, I realized that about 30 to 40% of students from freshman year were missing because they all got dropped out or they didn't think engineering was for them. And that's when I realized, like, holy crap, like, I actually need to get my shit together and start studying. And
Right.
then, but eventually I went with BSMS program, which is Bachelor's of Science and Master of Science. So I got my master's and bachelor's in 5 years altogether. So for me, schooling, I was non-stop studying. I was non-stop working. I did 2 internships, and I was taking these grad classes while I'm taking undergrad classes, and I didn't have any summer breaks, and like I barely had any winter breaks. So to me, like engineering really taught me how to um, realign my thinking in a way that, like, time management is very important, right? Because you only have 24 hours a day. I barely slept in college. I barely partied. I worked my
Right.
ass off. Um, so like really just working hard, and I think that mentality still exists to me today. I literally get home from work at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and I get straight to the garage, or I go straight to editing videos on YouTube. I just can't sit still anymore because I got that mentality of always working hard, and I think that's very important thing that school taught me at least.
Right. So speaking of like what you do now, what exactly do you do now?
So right now I'm in the automotive industry, working just outside of Detroit. I'm what's called working for a tier one company. So in the automotive industry, you got the OEMs, you got the tier ones, and the tier twos, and these are like the suppliers. Some people say like, oh, you have you're not American because you're driving like a Toyota Corolla, only to realize the same parts in Toyota Corolla is in like something like your Dodge and your Ford and GMs,
Right.
because the suppliers provide the same parts to the OEMs. Maybe it's rebranded, but it's the same stuff. That's why I'm not really brand loyal. You look at my LS-Swap FT, right? I'm about what's functional, what's reliable, what's cheap. So I work for these suppliers, and I'm a application engineer, which is kind of like a sales engineer, um, for better understanding or better term, should I say. So instead of a regular engineer who'd sit in a lab or sit in the office designing things, doing calculations, I'm actually out in the field with my customers, so like GM, Ford, Chrysler, or tier ones, and I figure out what kind of products they're looking for, and I'm specialized in sensors. So you're looking at your like a position sensor in the transmission, temperature sensor for your engine, or pressure sensor, humidity sensor for in cabin. Customer would have these needs for their vehicle. I'll go in, talk to them about our company profile, and they co-develop a sensor with their engineers. So I'm kind of the guy that goes in between my company's engineers and the OEM's engineers. So, and then because the sensors tend to be so technical, the sales guys can't really talk about the features and specs, right? So I'm like a technical sales guy. So I'm not bored sitting in the office all day, doing math and doing CAD and whatnot. I still do that, but not as much as a typical engineer would do.
Okay. So you're just like, well, I can hear myself.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Do what?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm echoing through yours. It's weird. So OEM is like the original makers of like a product, right?
Yeah, so the brands, so like your Nissans, Toyotas, GM.
Yeah. And so through like other car companies, you just communicate back and forth with them, just trying to figure out what specifically needs to be done.
Pretty much, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, because I mean, this depends on the company. Like Tesla literally builds their entire car themselves. Like they really don't use much suppliers. But when it comes to some companies like Audi's, for example, they tend to be good on the financial end, but they outsource a lot of their engineering. And when it's outsourced, it comes to companies like mine, where we would supply parts and co-design products.
Okay. Okay. I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and this is something I didn't know until I joined the automotive industry. Like growing up, obviously, I saw like Ford Mustang was 100% built by Ford. Or like you look at your like Dodge Stealth and Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's basically the same car rebranded, right? Oh no, not the Stealth and the 3000 GT. It's the same car rebranded.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Toyota G86 and the Scion FRS and the VRZ, like literally the same thing.
Yeah, same story.
Yeah. Okay, so out of college. Oh wait, actually, so you said you had two internships whenever you were in college.
Yep. Which is actually part of engineering program. I went to Drexel in Philadelphia, and part of the BS program was to have 3 different internships, 6 months at a time. So I interned at 2 different companies in college, which is also great curriculum, I think, for the college to set up, because some people go into engineering not knowing what engineering is, right? It's like the first time they get to experience real life engineering. And some of my friends actually quit engineering because they realized it's not for them after internships. For me, it was a better way to prepare myself for the real world after graduation. So yeah, I had 2 internships, and then I had 2 instead of 3 because I skipped the 3rd one to do my master's.
Mm-hmm. So when was your first internship? Like after your first year of college or second year?
That was 2nd year during the summertime.
Okay, and do you remember what company it was for?
It's called Southco Corporation. They do they mainly focus on hinges and latches. So in automotive industry, the Jeep have the hood, but unlike traditional cars, Jeeps have that like rubber latch on the side. Southco made that product, and that was working on electronic systems. So because Southco as a company realized that the traditional latch and hinges are getting electrified, right? So you got your actuators so that you can control your phone when the door wants to be open and closed. So I was more involved in the electrification side at the company.
Okay. So whenever you were in internship, you were like really actually hands-on?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to be hands-on. They trust me with my opinions. So internship was fun. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. So in college, did you have any like mentors or anything like that helped you to get through school?
Not really.
Okay, well, it's a question was asked.
Not really. I did have like a counselor when it came to finding internships, because it's part of the engineering program for my school at least. I had like a designated counselor who would help me find internships. But other than that, I didn't really have. I was pretty much on my own.
Right. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are.
Yeah, but I did, like especially in masters, it's so difficult that only the genius can get B's and pass the class by themselves. I'm no way one of those like smart kids who would just ace everything, right? So one thing I learned in masters though is that teamwork is extremely important. There's no way I could have gone through grad school if it wasn't for me like working as a team, as a group. So instead of having like a mentor in somebody who's older than me or somebody who's higher position than me, I had groups of friends who have all worked together and help each other on the same level.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, like, whenever things would get difficult and whatever, you could just like go to your friends and like work on the problem together, basically.
Yeah, and there's no way, no way. Like I'll literally be at the library on Friday night till 4 a.m. studying, and that's just for one class, you know. And like me and my friends, there's no way I would have graduated if it wasn't for teamwork and help from my
Right.
friends.
So, when were like the most difficult years for you whenever you were studying?
I think I think when I first transitioned into the master, when I first got approved to the master's courses, I remember first day of class, just a level of like the problem with masters is that the professors get so smart to a point where they don't know how to teach the class anymore. They'll just keep going and going, and then I look around the classroom like nobody knows what's going on. And I remember the first exam I took it, I had no idea. My friends had no idea what's happening, and the average grade of the first exam in this required master's course was like 32%, and I had like 17% out of 100. And obviously there's like and then obviously there's like these geniuses who are making like getting like 90%, but the class average was like like in the 30s, and the lowest was like 5%. And that's when I realized like this is just a completely different ball game. So I had to change my like really the amount of time I put into it. I just had to study so hard and really focus on working my ass off. So yeah, that's I would say the hardest change in time.
Okay. So this is probably a really hard question to answer, but if you had one piece of advice about becoming an engineer, what would it be?
Becoming one, right? In school. So I think the biggest advice I can give you is hard work. I mean, nobody's born. I mean, I guess some people are born smart, but it's all about practice. It's all about putting the work in. It doesn't matter if you want to be the best artist in the world, if you want to be best dancer, you want to be best engineer, then you're gonna put the time in. You're gonna study your ass off. You know, if you have a quiz coming up, you know the questions, you know the similar questions that's gonna go in the quiz. I would just repeat, make sure I know the material. So, just practice. Hard work, I believe, is key to success.
Right. Yeah. That's probably the same with like anything else too. Like
Yeah, just
as
in
long
life.
as you
Yeah.
have to learn.
One thing I learned though, which wish people told me, was that like all through college, I was so focused on graduating. I was so focused on getting the diploma because it was extremely hard. And when I graduated, I thought I was done with education. I thought I was done with learning, which is true, right? You're not in college anymore. But um, I realized that you can't never stop learning. Even after college, you just gotta keep pushing yourself. Like I got the fundamental engineering certificate, and I'll probably get the PE professional engineering certificate later on next year. But like just because school ends doesn't mean you're gonna stop learning. That's
Right.
one thing I realized. And you probably find yourself at first to be a little bit bored out of college. Or at least for me, it was a little bored to go into real life because it was just like so slow paced for me.
Right. Wait, I don't remember if I asked you this, but outside of college, what was your first job?
This is interesting. I never had a job outside of internships. I have always found, first of all, I was fortunate enough to be able to afford the basic things in life. But in college, freshman year, I think is when the iPhone came out. iPhone 1, the very first one, and at the time it was locked to AT&T. So what I ended up doing was some Russian kid figured out how to unlock iPhones. Nowadays iPhones come unlocked, but it was like you couldn't unlock iPhones. So if you have T-Mobile and you want to use iPhone, you could not get your hands on it unless you have this unlocked iPhone. So what I would do in college, because I figured out how to unlock iPhones, is buy like 20 iPhones at a time, unlock it, and sell it on eBay for like $200-300 profit. And then I got into like card counting at casinos, blackjack tables, which is another reason why, which is that reason why I got minor in mathematics too. And I've been always kind of hustling around. You know, I don't believe in making $10 an hour at McDonald's. And you know, if I'm doing something, if I'm working on something and getting paid for it, I want to be learning. I want to be educating myself. I don't want to just sit there and do the work because it gets me paid, right? It has to be fun. It has to be exciting, and I should be learning. Otherwise, I'm just wasting time. So I've always found a way to kind of hustle my way around in school.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, obviously, YouTube is not something I started because of money, but nowadays it does give me income. It does. I do Amazon affiliate links in my videos, so if you click on it, I get paid a little bit. I have my website, although it's to hook up my viewers, and obviously they get the best deal on ebook parts. But at the same time, I make a couple bucks here and there. You know, I have sponsorships on my YouTube channel that will pay me to announce their brand or talk about their product, do product reviews. So, you know, I'm just always looking for ways to have passive income, should I say, on the side.
Right.
You know?
Not just like from one source.
Right, and that's kind of mentality too. I wish people told me when I graduated, because you know, oh, you have a great job engineering, and it is a great job. It's stable for the most part. But you're not gonna, whether you're gonna. I think the happiest income due to somebody's research for anybody is like $70,000 to $60,000 US. If you have more than that, that means you're working too hard. You don't have enough personal life. If you make less than that, then you're not making enough money and you're kind of miserable. Now that's debatable, but you know, if you're a lawyer making $150,000 to $250,000 a year, you have no life outside of work. What's the point, right? So, but passive income, you can be working at your job or eventually quit your day job, and you could be on a beach in Jamaica, you know, making money. So you should, I think people in this generation should have that passive income mentality on top of engineering. And you definitely need a core education, I think, but like the hard-working mentality or teamwork mentality, you need to develop that somehow. But you also need to understand that there's other ways to make money.
Right. You sound kind of like Ty Lopez.
Yeah, don't get me started on that guy. Don't get me started on that guy. I don't know. I mean, he's a genius when it comes to social media marketing, which is huge. That's a huge market. A lot of people make money off social media marketing. So, I mean, it's a good industry to be in, but I don't know about his personality.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
I was just saying because I remember I saw something, and he was saying like, people don't know is that they should try to have income coming from multiple sources, not just one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you look at. I mean, I don't really talk about money with when I go to car shows and car meets, but sometimes I'm genuinely curious. Like I met this guy with like a Ferrari F40 or something, F50, I remember. But he was like, yeah, get in the car, like, yeah, sit in, touch the car. It's like, cool guy ever, like, true car guy. And he's like, yeah, this drives better than the McLaren I have. Or like, I'm like, how many cars do you have in the garage? And then, I don't know, he became like a good friend of mine naturally. And then we started talking about, like, what, I was like, what do you do? And he's like, I do this, I own gas stations, I'm into this business and internet. So, you know, every rich person that I have met who has free time is making money off passive income from something that generates money when you're sleeping, basically. And that's the same mentality I have as well.
So your website, how did that come about? Like one, how did you get the idea? Two, how did you even get it to happen?
So I was making all these DIY videos. So the only reason why I started my YouTube channel was because I got my Evo first in 2010-ish, and I was on the forums because YouTube wasn't big back then. And I would read all these instructions and pictures, try to follow it, but sometimes it's not accurate, or sometimes the pictures didn't show everything. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna film it for the Evo M, which is the Evo forum, evolutionm.net. I was like, I'm gonna record it, edit it, and post it on Evo M so people can follow me, follow the build like the way I did, and that's how my YouTube started. And I'm sorry, what was the question again? Oh, the website, yeah. And then so people will be watching how-to videos, and I realized that they don't really know where to get parts. So I was like, you know what? I know all these people in the automotive industry who can get me parts, so why not build a website where I can hook up my viewers with parts and know how to install the parts, right? To me, it was more of a way to, so definitely for one, I want to hook up my viewers. I think I have the lowest price on the internet, or otherwise you wouldn't exist in the first place because I can't compete with the big guys. And it was also a good way for me to bring people to my channel from the website too. So if you are looking for head starts or something, you land on my page, and on my product page there's a link to my YouTube channel on how to install it, then you know it's a win-win situation, right?
Right.
So that's how it just naturally started.
Okay, so basically the Evo brought you all of your ideas.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I was actually gonna ask you like what made you create a YouTube channel right after I asked that. So you just created the YouTube channel basically to show people how to work on the Evo?
Yeah. That's exactly why. And I didn't even realize that it could bring me revenue until I had that snow accident in 2012, which went viral. And then I had like, have you seen that one?
I remember that.
Yeah, it went viral. I had no idea. Like I have people from National Geographic contacting me, like news channels. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna offer you this much money. I wanna put it on the show, and I think it ended up on that show called Death on Highway. That footage on National Geographic. But when I went, I had no idea you can make money off YouTube. So I was like, oh, if I can make money of doing something I love doing anyways, why not record it and post it and help people at the same time? It's like there's no negative points there. Like, I mean, I'm spending a lot of time doing it, but you know, it's a win-win situation. It's fun,
right?
You know?
So in between like making videos and stuff, most of your time is just consumed by like working.
Yeah, that's also another problem that I have is I'm not sitting. I don't ever like sit still. I'm always doing something. I'm always, even on the weekends, like I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I mean, look at my garage. I just sold my FD, but I had 6 cars just 2 months ago. I have 3 bikes. I have a house that I've been renovating. I do YouTubing, and yeah, I'm so busy. I travel a lot. I'm just kind of person who can't sit still, which is why I think I like traveling so much. Is because when I travel, I'm physically away from my projects and I can't do anything but to relax. But I'm in a way a workaholic. Yeah.
I think it's probably a good thing. By the way, is that your cafe racer one?
Yeah, it is. I'm my garage.
Why is it?
Because my garage is full. I'm trying to work on my Datsun and the FD, LSFD in the garage, and I didn't have space. So it's my artwork, the most beautiful artwork ever in the house.
Yeah, that's some pretty sweet artwork.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably getting pretty cold there. That's why you're trying to get the garage.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it's not riding season, right? So I just stored it inside too. It's too cold to ride anymore.
Right. Okay, well, I can't really think of any more questions to ask you.
Yeah, no problem, man. I hope it was helpful, whatever your assignment was.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording real quick. Holy crap! I didn't realize we were talking for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it wasn't like super uncomfortable, and like other people can get something out of it or something.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I get a lot of emails and DMs about what I do for a living, which is a video I still need to film actually. I just haven't had a chance. So this is nice to kind of casually talk and inspire people about what I do and how to, I guess,
Right.
think and have a mentality of hard working in life.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot about like what to expect, and plus I learned like a lot of stuff that like I didn't already know about you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
You're like seriously awesome for letting me do this.
Yeah, of course. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the future. I'll be here to help you. So, good luck with your assignment. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
All right, see ya.
Peace.